to enjoy what you're doing. And, you know, it'd be silly to say, well, you're racing a car, it should be enjoyable. But this could just be a tedious task week in and week out to be great. So I agree that the atmosphere, the motivation, you want a driver that wants to win mostly for his team. And those seem to be the most successful, and I think Ty Dillon has that drive right now to try to bring his team to victory lane. A lot of cat and mouse games being played through the field right now. It's funny because you're trying to accomplish the goal of positioning yourself while saving some gas, while just seeing how your car drives. Because remember, that first stage was so broken up, I'm not sure if anybody got a long enough run to know if handling was going to become an issue.
Let's have a listen to some 71 radio. Michael McDowell.
Justin and go. Let's get control in. Get control, then we'll see. Right now, we don't feel like our mileage is good enough to do that.
So basically, that was McDowell frustrated. He says, tell Justin to go. So drive full speed, get to the front, pull up in front of the outside line, and then try to back them up and save gas. And the quick radio from the crew chief that sounds great, but that's not going to work. Our mileage is not good enough. If we go to the front, we're going to be too long in our pit box and give all our track position up, Marty.
Yeah, I just talked to Travis Peterson, the crew chief for Michael McDowell, third in line on the bottom in the blue 71. And I asked him about that radio. He said, hey, we're all in the same boat right now. But, Jeff, that speaks to the frustration of a driver because you don't like saving fuel. You want to run as hard as you can. McDowell saying, hey, I've got a teammate in front of me. Let's go take control of the race.
Yeah, I like McDowell, the way McDowell is thinking, because I believe if you get control of this race, then you can save fuel. But I like where they are now. Yeah. I think they're in good enough position to do both, to save a little bit of fuel, get track position, keep it. I kind of like where they are now, so don't get too greedy. Remember, we've seen how aggressive it got earlier. We've had multiple cautions in the first stage. You want to get track position, but you can't afford to cause a wreck this early in the race after we've already seen multiple wrecks.
Riding on board the Little Bites Ford for Ryan Preece, the man who started on the pole last week in Richmond. It didn't work out his way. They rolled the dice a little with strategy, had a little hiccup in the final stage, didn't go his way. Preece is in the mix. Been a good night for one of his bosses as well, Brad Keselowski. Troubles for his teammate earlier on, Chris Buescher, but Buescher's right there in that higher line in the 17, the fifth, third Ford. So all three RFK Fords are in the mix.
Yeah, that is exactly what they're going to need as this race winds down. Can they work together to get one of their cars into the playoffs? I just think that's going to be difficult to do unless, Steve, it's not chaotic at the end. If it's kind of an organized finish and you know where to push, but things happen so quickly. And the last thing you want to do as a driver in a multi-car team is make a move to try to win the race. But in doing that, you hurt a teammate in him trying to win a race. But you're going to have to be selfish at the end of it if you're going to win. And
there it is down left of your screen. Shane Van Gisbergen, after his 4 wins this year, had 14th last weekend in Richmond after running up as high as 10th. And here on a super speedway, he hasn't finished any better than 30th. And SVG is well and truly up there in the top 5.
Ryan Preece in that 60 car, he moves into second behind Chastain. Ryan Preece has gone on several really, really bad rides at this racetrack. Huge flips down the back straightaway. You don't want to see that again.
But he's kind of looked at the lighter side of it. Have a look at his helmet.
Yeah.
It's a Top Gun themed helmet. He's leaning into this.
We talked to him about it during the qualifying that didn't happen because of lightning, and I joked, I was like, man, I would get a tank operator or something that stays on the ground. I wouldn't lean into this car flying. He has leaned into it. He has a good attitude as you see him turn left below the 22 of Joey Logano. I love that kind of yellow tinted shield.
Well, this is what we're talking about. Let's
That's
take
like
you back.
yellow glass, like
it's
a
not pretty viewing,
Raptor.
but fortunately, Ryan was not seriously injured. It's hard to believe when you see those images.
What a ride. I mean, that is scary. All of us held our breath. That was just such an impact. And then, look at this car. Front of the car just will not sit down or it gets on his roof again. He said this one was actually a harder hit. I wouldn't want to be in either one of them.
And the first one that you saw when it dug into the turf was the catalyst for the backstretch being all asphalt. as you see there on the inside of their approach, where you go past the Le Mans chicane, where the sports cars race in the Rolex 24. Ross Chastain at the front. Let's have a look. We go on board here with Preece.
Watch Ryan Preece. Watch his right hand. He does. Every driver has these little weird things they do. They don't even know it. See, look at that. Look at his wrist. He pops his wrist up. When he goes through the triangle, he'll do it sometimes on corner entries. I've never seen that before. I watched a lot of in-car. Look at that. He just pops his wrist up. And I have never, ever seen a race car driver do that. And I bet he would, if he never had an in-car camera, he might not even know he was doing it. I used to move my hands on the wheel and didn't know I did it until I had an in-car camera.